again!
Hello!
I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we're here to talk about Big Brother.
I hate this week. I hate is a strong word. I am not enjoying this week.
Yeah.
No, I'm stressed out about this week. I'm angry about this week. I don't know.
There's a lot of emotions this week, and most of them are directed at Polly.
Oh, I have emotions directed towards so many people at this point.
Yeah, most of mine are directed at Polly.
Including you guys, America. I'm mad at you guys, too. But let's start from last week.
Right.
Okay.
So Day...
As we knew...
Day is gone.
Day is bye-bye. And she did not have that return ticket, dang it.
No.
I can't tell you how much I was like, oh my god, have that ticket, have that ticket, have that ticket. But
Yeah.
she did not.
She did not. So Day's gone for good, and then they have to do the next head of household. But keep in mind, after this vote, 7-2, Zakiya and Michelle are totally blindsided by this fact. They did
Michelle
not know.
is distraught.
Yes.
Totally caught off guard.
And she's telling people like, oh, well, why did nobody tell me? Because if somebody had told me, I would have voted with the house. But now
Right.
I'm like clearly out on my own.
I could have kept it a secret from Day. I would have. Why did you guys leave me out of blah blah?
Very upset.
Very emotional.
They do the head of household competition. Michelle's vomiting all over the place.
Amazing. First off, I can't believe Michelle stayed up and vomited. That was awesome.
I know.
And then Natalie crushed it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I was so hoping she was gonna win.
Me too, and she was so upset that she didn't win, which everyone's saying like this is her strategy. She wants you to feel bad
It's
for her.
not
and
her
throw
strategy.
No.
She legitimately, because I was analyzing while she was up there, and I was like, if only she were saying things towards Victor. If only she were saying, Victor, you look like you're about to break.
Yeah.
I could be up here all day long.
Yes.
Like, that's how you do that
Right.
in those final hours of a competition. But she wanted it so bad, she wasn't even thinking, like, how can I manipulate the situation?
No. And same with Zakiya. Zakiya was like, Victor, are you gonna put me up? And how are you feeling? And Victor's like, I feel great. And Zakiya's like, I want to get down. I'm like, that's not what you say. Like, you have to get in their heads about this, that you can stay up for hours.
Yeah. So whatever, I disagree that was a strategy on Natalie's part.
Yes, and I was really hoping she would win, but Victor won, so now he's head of household.
Which I hated, and I immediately was like, I'm done with this week. I
Yes.
hate this week already.
Yes, and we should note that Polly decided to fall immediately after Zakiya fell.
So obvious.
So obvious, and she's like, oh great, okay, so Polly was
Polly,
just trying to wait and make
the
sure that
worst.
I wouldn't be head of household because Polly knows that I'm kind of pissed at him. So he's not really playing his cards that well with Zakiya right now.
No, not at all. Think that one through. So Victor's head of household. Michelle's already a mess, but she knows she's probably going up, which is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But she didn't handle the whole situation well. Also, Victor didn't handle the whole situation well.
No.
I don't understand these people, Austin did it last year, who think that putting on a big, mean show is what we, America, want to see.
No.
At a is it a nominations ceremony?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We don't want to
We
see
don't
that.
want to see that. Victor, you now made enemies out of so many viewers.
Yeah, and like it was amazing seeing the reaction of the other house guests at the table because Nicole was just
None
like,
of them are comfortable.
what?
The worst.
And Polly was like rubbing his eyes, like, what are you
Because
doing?
Z has no affection for anyone but Polly.
Yeah. What?
What, girls have to flirt with you? Is that what you just said,
Yeah,
Victor?
yes.
Oh.
Pump the brakes, buddy.
Care package. This is
Yes.
another thing I'm annoyed with. America, what happened? There was a very clear strategy to this, and you guys ruined it. There are 5 guys running the house right now.
Yep.
These care packages are our way of playing with the game. For us to play with this game would be to break up that 5-guy group.
Please.
So you gotta give these care packages to someone outside that group who's willing to use it. 2 votes could have been canceled this week from someone like Michelle, who before we even knew she was gonna go on the block, but we knew she knew about Polly being a strong person, and she could have used those votes to break that group up.
And we know she's a super fan, and so that's the kind of move that she'd be willing to make.
Why did we give this to James? Because it's a popularity contest, you guys. Yes, we all love James and Natalie. Yes, I'm glad we got that out of our system. Now let's pay attention to how we vote.
Yes. So James has this advantage now, and Michelle is kind of interested in like how this could affect the game because she's up on the block next to Zakiya. So Michelle's talking to Natalie, and Natalie's sort of explaining mathematically how it can work.
Can you believe it? Natalie's explaining something to Michelle?
Yeah. And then Michelle sort of has a conversation with James one-on-one, and she's saying, look, if I stay in this house, I'm gonna make a big move next week, and it does not involve you or Natalie, and so, I don't know, like, maybe we can use this thing to help me. So then that gets the wheels turning in James's mind.
So ultimately, for the first time, Michelle is actually playing this game because a lot of people who've been on the block this season have not been making deals.
No.
Have not been saying, all right, what do I gotta do for you to keep me? Like, I'll keep you safe, like, blah, blah, whatever.
Right.
That's what we usually see, and it has not happened much this season.
No, at least not what we've seen.
Yeah, Michelle is starting that now. Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert, Polly wins the veto.
Polly wins the veto. When I read who had been picked for veto and Polly's name was listed, I was like, great, here we go. Polly's gonna win.
Great.
Did Polly need to win this veto? No, he did not.
No.
But he did anyway, and which was an awkward thing because behind the scenes, Michelle and Zakiya have gone up on the block. And even though Polly has been like so mean to Zakiya all week long, and has told Paul, she's gotta go, she's gotta go, she's gotta go. When it finally gets to that point that she's on the block, I think a little voice inside his head was like, but she's your goat.
Yeah.
She's your Victoria.
Yes.
You gotta keep her because you have her, you can manipulate her.
She'll do whatever you say.
She's a vote for you to the end. So then he's like, ooh, maybe we don't want to get rid of Zakiya. Maybe Michelle's the one. Paul's adamant that Zakiya go this week. And they have been like back and forth in a very friendly, in an alliance kind of way of like, it should be Michelle. No, maybe just Zakiya. I mean, I don't care, but like maybe Zakiya. Tell us what spoiler, tell us what happened.
Well, here's another spoiler. Polly chose not to use the veto. And he did give Zakiya a heads up about it, correct?
Yeah,
that he wasn't going to take her off the block?
Yeah, he came up with a story about how Victor really just doesn't want to do arena.
Sure, and like, I'm sure you're safe.
Yeah, I got your back, whatever.
Right.
So he did play it off to the best of his ability, and luckily she like is putty in his hands, so she's like sad, but okay.
Yeah, because we already heard earlier in the week that like even when Polly's like being a complete asshole to her, she wants to believe the words that are coming out of his mouth. She's just so desperate to like have him tell her the truth.
Is so
and, like,
needy for him.
Oh man, it's so disappointing.
It's really sad to watch. That makes me sad when I see guys are just like whatever to them, and they're just like, oh whatever, but please.
Yeah.
It just breaks my heart. So do you see why I am so frustrated this whole week?
I definitely do. And here's another reason to be frustrated. Now we're frustrated with Paul because Michelle is continuing her campaign, right, to stay in the house. So now she's telling Paul that, again, she's going to make a big move. She's not targeting him.
Right.
He needs to vote for her.
Vote, yeah. I'm going to make a big move and you're not my threat.
Yeah. But she kind of slips up with him and she says, Paul, all I need to get are 3 votes. But saying that she only needs 3 implies that James is going to use his care package to her advantage, because otherwise she would need 4 or whatever, like the majority is of 7 votes. But she's telling him she only needs 3 votes, which means that only 5 votes would be in play, which means that James would have taken 2 votes out of play. So now Paul goes back to Polly and tells him this whole thing.
Okay, first off, Paul, remember, you don't know how to lie.
Right.
This is the same thing of like when he came outside of the Paris room, he was just like, oh, I don't remember how I got in there. Don't worry about it. But this is the thing. And he goes to Polly and he does the same thing. She's gonna get a big throat out. Don't worry about who it is.
But she said it's good for most people, but no, it's not you. What? I think it might be James or something. And Polly's like,
it's me, you idiot.
Yeah,
and Paul's like,
no.
Like his lies are just not good. Like keep your mouth shut for once. Like Paul and Polly cannot keep their mouths shut.
Nope.
They talk about how Michelle talks and blabs and like Zakiya talks. Like they say everyone else talks and blabs, but they talk and blab. Oh my God, I'm so over this group of executives, this whatever, and then the stupid boardroom in the middle of it. Like, I'm so over these guys, and if someone doesn't break them up soon, they're never going to be broken up.
Then we're stuck with them, okay? So let's be smart about the care packages.
Yes! Victor literally says in his DR, I want to get a big threat out. And then he puts 2 weak girls up on the, like, is that literally, does he really think that he's going after a threat?
Yes.
You are the bottom.
Yeah.
At the very bottom of a 5-person alliance.
Yes. That's bad news for you.
And James has to know, like, I get, like, James is so scared to mess up like he did last season.
Yes.
But he's not playing perfectly this, like, I feel like he's just playing so scared.
Yeah.
But we're getting close. Like, James, you have got to take a step out and make a bold move.
Yep, and I think it has to happen in double eviction week. You have to get one of those guys out in double eviction week. Otherwise, I just see them sailing through.
You guys, this Thursday is a double eviction. Okay, that's gonna get me through this horrible week. I cannot wait for this double eviction.
Yeah.
I don't even know, I can't even fathom, I can't even wrap my head around what's gonna happen in this double eviction. There's so many possibilities, and it really just depends on who's gonna win an HOH.
If Polly wins that effing HOH, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Which you know he probably will.
Probably will.
Because he doesn't know how to not win.
Yeah.
And unless he is 100% certain that one of his execs is going to win this HOH, then he's going to do it. And who will he get out? He says he'll get out Victor. He says he'll get out Bridget. But will he really? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he take that moment to get James out?
Right.
Or just not, like, they're wasting so many votes on girls. They, like, really have a vendetta against females. And I just don't fully understand it.
It's so frustrating because the girls had an advantage in the house, a huge numbers advantage at one point, and now they're just self-destructing.
It's really, I mean, that's a whole other blog post about how these girls have screwed this up.
Now it's time for our moments.
I got no moments. I'm just angry. I have so many on the block moments.
I know.
I'm putting everyone on the block.
Let's put a bunch of people up on the block, shall we?
Including you, America.
Yeah.
You are on the block.
America's on the block. Paul's on the block.
Victor is on the block because that speech unacceptable.
Polly's on the block for the way he treats women.
So on the block for that.
So does anybody deserve a head of household moment?
Nicole is also on the block because she just is driving me bonkers right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, what is the game you're playing?
Seriously, if you're watching the feeds or BBAD, if you're watching anything outside the episodes, this is what she's saying. Corey, do you like my shirt? But does Corey like me? But does Corey... I don't want her to put me on the block, but Corey... Seriously, the only thing game-related she has said is, but I don't want her to put me on the block. Well, obviously, nobody wants to be put on the block, Nicole. What is that? That's not a strategy.
Yeah. Nicole, you've played this game before. I need you to step it up a little bit, okay?
Stop being distracted by Corey and get your head in the game. You are also not even included in that top 5.
Yes. You need to realize your position in the house. Be aware.
Who's our head of household?
I don't even know. Is it Natalie for almost winning HOH?
You know what it is. Natalie has easily become my favorite person in the house. Not only is she like a good person who's like trying to just be a good person in this house, but she did really well in that comp.
She tried as hard as she possibly could.
And even though she walks around and is like, I mean, I don't know anything about this game, she actually, when she sits down and talks about it, spews out some really smart stuff.
Give yourself some credit, girl.
Yeah. Like, she'll turn to James and be like, now this. Like, Polly's running this and this and this. And James will be like, yep, you got that. Yep. Like, she's not getting intel from anybody. Because I don't know if everybody knows this, but James and her don't really talk game. Like, James is trying not to make her a threat or, like, seem like she's dangerous because James gives her all this information. Yeah. So he doesn't tell her anything. Yep. And she's not connected to anybody else, even though she's connected to Bridget. Bridget doesn't actually care about her. Yeah. And doesn't talk to her. Natalie's figuring this stuff out from just being observant.
So good for you. I hope you can use that to good effect.
I'm glad we figured out someone we can give that to.
Yeah. Took a while. We had to go through almost everyone in the house.
Everyone in the house. Everyone else is on my poop list. Ugh. I want so badly for Michelle to get it together. I want her to stay this week, and I want her to figure stuff out because she is a super fan and she breaks down and cries over things like, I'm not going to be here for Zingbot. She knows all these competitions, but yet she's not very good at actually playing the game. Yeah. And she's so emotional. Not that we can control that. Sometimes we're just emotional people. Yes. But my gosh, Michelle.
I mean, just stop. Like, she cried because she gave Paul a bruise and because people are going to think she's a violent person and that's not her. And I'm like, why are you crying about this?
Yeah, she obviously cannot control that.
She's been having a rough couple of weeks.
But we also have to remember, we're approaching 60 days. Yes. And that's when people are certifiably Looney Tunes. Yeah. I need this double eviction. I need something to change in this game. And
I would love for it to be Polly going home. I really would. That would just flip the game on its head.
That would be amazing if Polly could go home, but I just want to see at least somebody try. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I would love for James to be able to like make a move and do something.
We'll see.
Well, that was my crazy spastic episode.
Yeah. We had a lot of feelings and I feel actually better now than when we started. Yeah. We got it out.
What do you guys think? Who are you rooting for? Who did you vote for this care package and who should we vote for this week? Let's think about this, guys.
And click subscribe and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye. Bye.